सुरमई अखियों में नन्हा मुन्ना एक सपना दे जा रे कन्ने कलेमाने कनिमयिलन कंडे उन्னை நானே அந்திப்பகல் உன்னை நான் பார்க்கிறேன் ஆண்டவனை இதுதான் கேட்கிறேன் லாரிராரோ ஊராரிரோ. Okay. Chalo, let's get started. And this is an interesting video which I enjoyed preparing for this morning. This is to do with the last mile strategy for your history and civics examination. We had done a classroom chat with Padmavati ma'am. You would have seen that. I had also done a strategy video talking about, what it really takes in order to score an 80 on 80 in the history and civics paper. This I did about a few days back, about 5-6 days back, before your English exam started. You would have seen that as well. This is even more specific because I found many students asking me the chapter-wise distribution in the paper, and I keep telling them, please look at the specimen paper because that would give you a very clear idea. But then the flip side is that the specimen paper does not exactly resemble the 2023 board paper, is different a bit from the 2023 specimen paper. So I would do a comparative analysis so that you have an absolutely clear idea on what you could possibly expect on Monday, the 26th of February. So let's get started. Okay, so you can see the decoding of the ICSE Class 10 History and Civics paper with our target being 80 on 80, which I can tell you is most definitely possible. There is no reason why you should settle for anything less than 80 on 80. Okay. So the first thing is, what is the chapter division in the ICSE Class 10 History and Civics paper? Now, if you look through the civics portion of 20 marks, I mean, you need to attempt those 2 questions of 20 marks. I'm looking at the last 3 board and specimen papers combined. Okay, you have to attempt 2 out of 3 sets. Now, in the 2024 specimen paper, which you will see on the CISE website, the first question is from Parliament, the second question is from President, and the third question is from Supreme Court. The broad division is that 1 question from Legislature, 1 question from the Executive, and the third question from Judiciary. And you need to attempt any 2 of the 3 sets. The choice is yours. Okay. In the 2023 board paper, Parliament of course came. President was there in the board paper last year, and it was the High Court questions. Now, for some strange reason, which I don't know whether they will change this year, because the English literature paper, we did see some changes being made in the sense that, new 9 gold medals and the greatest Olympic prize combined question came, like the way I had said, comes in CBSE. So I don't know whether they will put 2 questions of Supreme Court and 1 of High Court or the other way around. But the trend so far has always been, for many years, is that they will ask either President question or Prime Minister questions. They will ask either High Court questions or Supreme Court questions. In the 2023 specimen paper, Parliament being the same, again it was the President and the Supreme Court. So my personal sense is that, okay, let's go through the history and then we will talk about it. History in the last 3, you need to attempt 3 out of 5 sets. That is 20 marks, and these are the 30 marks. The 2, and this is a little more tricky, so pay attention to this. 2024 specimen paper, the first question is from the First War of Independence, the first chapter, 1857 to whatever happens after the mutiny. Then the second question was from the Growth of Nationalism chapter. There is nothing from the first and the second assertive nationalist वगैरह नहीं, कुछ नहीं, Muslim League, nothing. Growth of Nationalism, the second chapter. Then there is a Gandhian period. Okay. Then there is a World War and Dictatorship as the 4th question, and the final question is for United Nations. The general division is that there are 3 chapters from the entire Indian history period, that is from 1857 to 1947, and the 2 questions, these are 3 questions, and the World War thing from let's broadly say 1914 till let's say 45 for the United Nations plus NAM. Okay, let me put it like this. Or we can say till 1961 if we are talking about NAM also. Okay, उसमें से दो questions आते हैं. In the 2023 board paper, the first question was from First War of Independence, but then there was only one question from that period. Gandhian movement and Subhash Chandra Bose came as two separate sets. Then World War and dictatorships and United Nations last year. Let's look at the specimen paper of 2023. You had First War of Independence. Then you had the second question on early and assertive nationalists and Bengal partition. Then you had only one question from Gandhian period and Independence Act, nothing from Subhash Chandra Bose. And then First World War and United Nations. So you see, ये फेर बदल होता रहता है. It keeps on changing. It's not constant. Okay, so please be aware of this. 5 sets, 3 Indian, 2 world history. That is constant. But उस 3 के अंदर फेर बदल होता रहता है. World War का composition keeps on changing. So just be aware of that. So my tip to you is, please prepare the Prime Minister chapter well this time. Okay. Parliament chapter and the President chapter, because by chance if they decide to repeat the President chapter. Okay. If you are planning to attempt the legislature, that is Parliament, and the executive chapters in the long questions. Many students find judiciary difficult because there is too much of legal jargon. Revisory jurisdiction, advisory jurisdiction, judicial review, court of record, etc. It can get a little confusing if you do not have a legal bent of mind, if you are not used to listening to legal jargon. So that can be a little tricky. तो अगर आपको जुडिशरी के चैप्टर्स थोड़े से कठिन लगते हैं, उसके टर्म्स एंड जो भी जितने भी टर्म्स हैं थोड़े कठिन लगते हैं, तो आप इन तीनों चैप्टर को अच्छी तरह से प्रिपेयर कीजिए ताकि इसमें से ये तो पक्का आएगा, पार्लियामेंट तो पक्का आएगा, प्राइम मिनिस्टर और प्रेसिडेंट में से एक आएगा. ओके, या कंबाइंड आ जाए, पता नहीं, तो एक तो आपके 20 मार्क की गारंटी रहेगी. And judiciary chapters you could prepare for MCQs. I'm leaving it to you. This is a choice you need to take. Or if you think judiciary मेरे को बहुत आसान लगता है, so judiciary and parliament you can prepare. That's also possible. Okay. Then history के लिए please prepare world history thoroughly. Okay, world history के लिए पूरा लंबा वीडियो मैंने सारे चैप्टर्स का वीडियो डाल दिया है सुबह. Please go and have a look at it. Then you can prepare the Gandhian history till the Independence of India Act, that is 1914 till 1947 तक का. Arrival of Gandhi till India became independent. ये वाले सारे portions, Quit India, Subhash Chandra Bose, everything. All these chapters you can do. Or if you feel more comfortable with the 1857 till the arrival of Gandhi, that is till the Muslim League, etc., then you can prepare that portion. Okay, अगर this is for students who want to do percentage study, let me make that clear. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं कि आप ये छोटे chapters ही करके जाइए. If you can prepare everything, nothing like it, nothing like it. Okay, but in case if you are looking for अरे last minute मैंने अभी तक कुछ भी पढ़ा नहीं है, पहली बार ही हिस्ट्री सिविक्स कर रहा हूं, या सिलेबस में क्या क्या है ये अभी मैं पूछ रहा हूं, so it is for students like that. So I'm making that very clear, that caveat. Now how do you prepare? अगर कम पोर्शन करोगे या उसके अलावा भी नहीं करोगे तो हाउ डू यू प्रिपेयर फॉर MCQs? My main tip is focus on the details. There is another question asked, should I try to remember dates? Okay, the old style method of dates, because ये किस दिन हुआ था करके ऐसा क्वेश्चन आपसे नहीं पूछा गया है कभी भी. Why I say it's important to remember dates is because when you use dates in your subjective answer, there are somebody had written, अरे dates तो कभी पूछते नहीं है. Dates कभी नहीं पूछा गया है अभी तक. लेकिन if you use the dates in your subjective answers, the examiner is likely to be impressed with your thoroughness of your preparation. कि इस बच्चे को पूरी तरह से मालूम है कि दांडी मार्च के लिए महात्मा गांधी किस दिन चले थे, किस दिन दांडी पहुंचे थे. You need to remember. If you are able to impress the examiner, कहीं किसी और जगह पे थोड़ी सी भी चूक हो गई हो, he or she may overlook that. The possibility is there if you have continuously impressed the examiner. कहीं कोई careless mistake हो गई हो, okay, he or she may overlook that. Now, अभी क्या होगा? You need to learn them intelligently, and I'll give you an example. If you look at the specimen paper, it will give you an idea. If you look at some of the videos that I put before, or you look at our success test papers, it will give you an idea about the kind of questions that can be asked. I'll give you an example. Look at this question. In the year 1878, 2 acts were introduced by Lord Lytton, which Indians did not like. Name the 2 acts. ये 2 मार्क का क्वेश्चन हो सकता है पार्ट ए के सेकंड क्वेश्चन में, और द क्वेश्चन में नॉट इवन इंक्लूड लॉर्ड लिटन, तो आपको वो क्लू भी नहीं मिला है. तो ये आपसे डेट नहीं पूछ रहे हैं, लेकिन डेट के बेसिस पर आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है. इफ आई वर द एग्जामिनर, आई वुड पुट क्वेश्चंस लाइक दिस. एंड स्पेसिमेन पेपर, जिस तरह का स्पेसिमेन पेपर बनाया है, जिसमें कि थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगाया है, थोड़े से ट्रिकी क्वेश्चंस हैं, थोड़ा सा एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड, केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरह के इंटेलिजेंट सवालों के पूछे जाने की चांसेस काफी हैं. देयर इज अ चांस दैट दीस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस may be asked. Okay, இது மாதிரி क्वेश्चंस கேட்கலாம். சோ அதுக்கு வேண்டி கொஞ்சம் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுங்க. So the answer will be Vernacular Press Act and the Indian Arms Act. Simple and straight. So you need to know 1878. एक और question. Which date was decided to be observed as Purna Swaraj Day? Now here I'm asking you the date. And what do we celebrate on this day now? So I'm sure many of you know that 26th of January was decided to be observed in 1930. 1930 में ये डिसाइड किया गया था that this day will be celebrated as Purna Swaraj Day. Now we celebrate it as Republic Day, right? Now let's come to the question 2. Since I'm talking about the 2-mark questions, let me come to more specifics about the question number 2, जो कि 14 marks के हैं. Okay, 14 marks. This is 7 questions into 2 marks each. Okay, now in this you will either get 2 questions from civics and 5 from history, or you will get 1 only from civics and 6 from history. Okay, so it could be 2 plus 5 or 1 plus 6. Okay, that is up to the examiner. Now for this section you cannot leave out anything. Every question you should know 2 reasons, 2 objectives, 2 causes, 2 accomplishments, right? That is something which you should be able to prepare. I'll give you examples. 2 objectives of the Indian National Army, 2 objectives of the Indian National Congress when it was established in 1885, 2 objectives of Muslim League, 2 objectives of Forward Bloc, right? All this at least 2 याद करना, ताकि इसमें आप इस्तेमाल कर सके. मैं तो कहता हूं कि 3 याद करके जाओ ताकि सब्जेक्टिव में भी काम आए. अगर सेम प्रश्न नेम 3 ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ द इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस आपसे सब्जेक्टिव में पूछा जा सकता है. 3 मार्क का तो आएगा, 4 मार्क का नहीं आएगा. 3 मार्क का तो जरूर आ सकता है. तो 3 याद करेंगे, तो अगर 2 मार्क का आए तो आपके बल्ले बल्ले हो जाएगी, राइट? देन 2 achievements of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Raja Mohan Rai. I've just randomly named people. It could be Surendranath Banerjee. It could be what do you call, Lala Lajpat Rai. It could be anybody. I've just randomly named 2 people. ऐसा नहीं है कि यही दोनों याद करके जाने. I'm just randomly written something. 2 kingdoms annexed by the British using the doctrine of lapse. You should know the answer. Now, when you study content like Treaty of Versailles, please remember most of the points, because specimen paper, if you look at the question, it had a question on how the German military was impacted by the Treaty of Versailles. So you can be asked very specific. आपने वो coal mines का वगैरह वगैरह याद करके war indemnity कितना देना है, $33 billion देना है. You would have remembered all that. But here you may be asked a question only about the German military. So please, for things like Treaty of Versailles, please don't take chances. Read all the clauses of the Treaty of Versailles, whatever was decided as per that treaty. In civics, please understand the conditions for becoming an MP. Okay, those kind of questions, becoming an MP, who can be elected as a speaker, what can the speaker do, what are the 2 powers, discretionary powers of the president, the emergency powers of the president. The civics questions that you will be asked will be application based, they will be case based, they will be understanding based. So you need to know the basics. रट्टा मार के बुक का याद करके जाएंगे without understanding, आपको खतरा है. अंडरस्टैंड करो, समझो कि किस केस में क्या होता है. प्रश्न अपने आप से प्रश्न पूछो. प्लीज कीप आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस टू योरसेल्फ दैट ओके, इफ दिस इज हैपनिंग, स्पीकर हैज डन दिस, इफ देयर इज pandemonium in the Lok Sabha, what can the speaker do? Okay, the vice president is not there, who can be in his place? Who presides over the joint session? Addresses, what can happen if the president is not there? If the president has to resign, who does he submit his resignation to? Who can how can a high court judge be removed? Who has a supreme power? Lots of things in civics, many more in civics than in history. So understand, please keep asking questions to yourself so that there is absolute clarity before you step into the examination hall on Monday morning. Okay, so that is something which you need to do. For example, 5 members in the Lok Sabha were engaging in unruly behavior. Question number 1, simple hai. Who can suspend them? The speaker. Under what powers? Disciplinary powers. That's all. I'm not saying you need to write the full line, but these are the keywords. Dusri baat, keywords. These are the keywords. एग्जामिनर में पूरा लाइन लिख दो, अच्छा लगता है, बट दे विल एसेंशियली लुक एट कि ये वर्ड्स यूज किए हैं या नहीं. ओके, इसके बजाय आप प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर लिखेंगे तो चलेगा नहीं. इट वॉन्ट वर्क इफ यू राइट द प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर. So there are many such critical questions and application based questions in the SWS success test papers. Please go and have a look at them, use them. It is worth every penny is what I would say, and that has always been the feedback. I always believe our history civics papers are among the best because I see a lot of papers, which are just essentially taken from the book. इसमें दिमाग लगा के क्वेश्चंस बनाए जाते हैं, thinking, what could possibly. See, I'm not saying that, this is the question which will come, but if you train your mind to think like that, when a similar question comes in the examination, you will not feel कि अरे मैं इस बॉल को कैसे play करूं? How do I play this ball? The pitch of the examination will not be an unplayable pitch for you. You will think, I've done enough net practice with the SWS success test papers. This is not a problem for me. Okay, now in MCQs, photograph-based questions will come, newspaper-based questions will come, the newspaper headline. So please look at the newspaper headline which is given in the question carefully and link it to whichever event it is talking about. For the photograph-based questions, I had done a detailed video last year, this time. So look out for this video of February. Just go into the search bar within the Study with Sudhir channel. Just say photograph based questions, history, ICSE 10 history, mil jayega. You'll get the entire list of history civics ka, so that should not be a problem. Okay, I really don't have much to add to that. जो add करना था वो मैंने success test papers में add किया है. Now, what should be the last mile revision strategy? History, go chronologically. World history पढ़ रहे हैं. First World War, start with the First World War, end with the non-aligned movement. Don't try to take only, I will read only about Hitler. I will read only about Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Don't do it like that. Start from beginning, end with the non-aligned movement. Understand in bullet points, those are your keywords. Usage of keywords, absolutely important. What I gave you an example. I have done another video in which I've explained the use of keywords. Again, done last year. Please go and have a look at it. You will find it useful. Thumbnail mein the word keywords is written. Make a chart. Now, these are things which will help you, and don't look at it from take it from here, take it from there. Make your own chart while you're studying. It helps you to make it in your own handwriting. And I'm not saying you need to decorate it. Just write it on one page. That's enough. Utna hi hai. Who were the governor generals? Which year? What were they responsible for? The viceroys, who was responsible for who? Like Lord Curzon, responsible for partition of Bengal. That's all you need to do. Which year partition of Bengal took place? That's all you need to do. Okay. Then Lord Dalhousie, Doctrine of Lapse, Wellesley, Subsidiary Alliance. If you make these kind of charts in your own handwriting, recall, revision, everything gets help. These are all part of revision tactics. Make a chart of leaders who was called what? The titles like Dadabhai Naoroji, the grand old man of India. Important achievements of each person. That's again very important. You need to know what did Raja Ramohan Roy do? What did Gopalakrishna Gokhale do? What did Bal Gangadhar Tilak do? Everything. Their publications, what were the things they wrote? This kind of a question has come in 2019 of Dadabhai Naoroji. What publications they were associated with, Jyotiba Phule, etc. What were the organizations that they floated? You need to know. Okay, Satya Shodhak Samaj, who formed the Satya Shodhak Samaj? Which leader is the Arya Samaj associated with? All these things you need to do. The three major movements: non-cooperation, civil disobedience, and Quit India. Please make it in tabular form so that you know the causes, the objectives, what happened as per that, so that there is no confusion. So that you don't write Quit India causes in civil disobedience and vice versa. Okay. Keywords matter, not the length of the answer. Keywords is what matters. Do not get confused between World War I and World War II, who fought on each side. Okay, make those kind of things in your own handwriting, makes it easier. These are all part of revision. While you're revising, just keep writing it. It kind of gets registered in your mind that much more. You'll remember, oh, मैंने left hand side bottom में ये notes लिखे थे, आसानी होगी. You will remember it better. Know the functions of the different UN organs and agencies. Again, make it in tabular form if you're finding it difficult to know what does General Assembly do, what does International Court of Justice do, what does Security Council do, how many vice presidents, what's the term, veto power. Just keep scribbling on pages in your own handwriting. I'm telling this to you from experience. This helps hugely. Then civics, understanding is key. I'm going on emphasizing this. Please do not rote learn. Ratta mat maro unless your teacher is explaining it to you ki kya hai, with the help of examples. Like for instance, today in the morning I was explaining it to one of my students, anti-defection law. I will explain it just here. Anti-defection law kya hota hai? 2/3 of a legislature party, let's assume एक legislature party के पास there are 36 MPs. Okay. Now, if out of those 36 MPs, 10 MPs, okay, only move out. Okay. Sorry. Only 10 MPs move out, then these 10 MPs can be disqualified from the membership of the Lok Sabha. However, yet 36 may say 24 MPs decide to join the ruling party and join the government. Then they will not attract the provisions of the anti-defection law because this is 2/3 of the total strength, 36. So they will be recognized as a separate group which is joining the ruling party. So that's how the anti-defection law works. It was floated essentially because many people used to just this thing, oh, tumko mantri bana denge, you'll make me a minister. So people used to keep crossing without having any kind of allegiance to the people, to the voters who have voted you for a certain party. The functions of every constitutional authority you need to know. Then legislative and executive functions, please do not get confused, have clarity. The judicial chapters, you need to know all the legal terminology, very important. Time management strategy, मैंने last बार भी बोला था, but I'm just repeating it quickly. Reading time, you need to read all the MCQs, solve all the MCQs in the reading time, decide which are the 2 + 3 sets, 2 in civics and 3 in history that you're going to do. Then MCQ should not take more than 10 minutes. This should not take more than 15 minutes. Civics, each set of 10 marks each, you can take about 15 minutes to do. That is 30 minutes in all. History, each set you can take about 20 minutes, so 60 minutes. So 60 + 30, 90, 90 + 10, 100, 100 + 15, 115, 5 minutes for revision, 120, 1 baje, tata bye bye karke, tali baja ke bahar aa jao. Okay, so that's all you need to do. So my suggestion to you is just follow this time management strategy, follow this revision strategy. I hope you have now understood the format of the papers, how much of risk you can do if you are planning to do percentage study. My advice to you would be, abhi time hai, you still have a good one day on Sunday, so you can finish off most of the portion. My last suggestion, on Monday morning, please ensure whichever textbook you are following, please go through the textbook. Saki, when you're reading the textbook, the textbookish language and the keywords keep getting reinforced in your mind, right? So if you do that reading on the last day without looking at any more test papers, all the test papers you should do Saturday, Sunday is when you should do all the test papers business. And Monday morning, read the textbook, quick read through the textbook, entire thing, it will really help you. So my suggestion to recap, don't do percentage study. Agar percentage study karna hi hai, so do it intelligently. Point number 2, revise intelligently, the smart way, the way I have told you. Number 3, read your textbook on the morning of the exam. It will really help you. I hope this video was of use to you. Thank you very much. Tata.